Yo, yo, it's time for cars. Please, bro, just one more weld, bro. Please, just one more weld. It'll fix it, bros. Please, please. It'll make the car solid, bro. Please, bro, just one more weld, bro. Please, please, just one more weld. All you gotta do is one more weld, bro, and it's good, bro. Please, please, bro. Please, please, bro, just one more weld, bro. It'll fix it, bro. I swear, bro. Please, bro, just one more weld. Just one more weld. It'll fix it, bro. Please. Please, bro. Please, just one more weld. It'll fix it. Isn't it too hot to be welding? I don't care. We're only going to be out there for a couple hours, dude. And then, yeah, I'll go take a dunk in the pool, and then we're going to play cities for early hours today. So we got the car stream, we got cities, and then we got summer car. Dudes, I was not good yesterday. I was putting on a very brave face. I
Go at throttle up.
went and lied down in bed, just sipping on water and Gatorade, and I was like, I'm 37. That was a really, like, I gotta be careful. Be careful, man. Yeah, I apparently didn't drink enough water. Like, yeah, not enough water. You're gonna build a pool on stream? No, I'm gonna jump in a pool on stream. No. Savvy, what's going on? 107-month resub. Sintesi, doesn't EJ live in New England? How hot can it be? I live in Australia, by the way. Oh, it's pretty toasty here, dude. Yesterday we got above 32C, and I know that's nothing if you're like if you're in the outback or something, right? That's nothing. The 32C is nothing, but it was 32C at 70% humidity. It was warm. So what happens is, so there's a lot of warm air down here, and there's a lot of humidity, and just the way the wind blows, sometimes it blows up the coast. It shoots a ton of warm Florida air up here, and just the way it goes is it just goes this way, and it goes right over me. Sometimes, like, that happens. And then other times, you get Siberian cold. Seriously, Siberian cold that comes across the North Pole, makes all the Canadians nuts stick to the freaking porch because it's so damn cold, and then it blows over me. But fortunately, I got like, with the cold, I'm near the ocean, so it warms up, like, right before it gets to me, which is kind of nice. But yeah, dude, the temperature could swing, but yesterday was really freaking hot. That 70% humidity was killing me, dude. Killing me. Yeah, it was like, I lived in Florida, man. That's like, Sintesi, living in Florida is like living in Tasmania, dude. It gets really freaking hot down there. Like 40C at 90% humidity when I lived down there. Like, I know it can get hotter. I was not ready for that. I was not ready. And I'm working in a metal shed. This building is a freaking metal shed that's insulated. So I basically work in an oven. Yeah, until I can get the heating situation under control. And it's funny because all that humid Florida air goes across here and goes right to England, and that's part of the reason why it rains so much. Because the freaking, I'm not sure what it's called, the jet stream or trade winds or whatever. You want to find a weather guy. Wait, we have a weather guy. I don't know where he's been though. But see, the jet stream goes like right up here, and it goes right over to the Isles, the British Isles over there. And yeah, that's why it rains so much over there. It's funny because it's funny because you get this in Tessa, you guys get the same weather that I do, but like 1 day removed. 1 or 2 days later, you get the same weather as me, which is pretty funny. Worse than the UK is that it's not common for air conditioning. Imagine 30C without aircon. Yeah, I mean, I did that yesterday. It was not appealing. I get it. There's no air conditioner. There's no relief. There's no nothing. That's why 30C kills the British Isles completely. There's no air conditioning. There's nothing. Like, yeah. It's a little more temperate drummer for sure. Anyway, hey man, what's going on? So yeah, I mean, dude, I know there's places that are hotter, but dude, I was not. That 70% humidity kind of came out of nowhere. That's the thing about New England, because like sometimes we get a cold front coming from Canada, and sometimes we get a warm front coming from Florida. You get pretty wild temperature fluctuations. Yeah. And then because we're near the ocean, it just adds to the weather ADD. Still reeling from the butt whooping we gave them in 1776. It's also midsummer, so you're dealing with all the corn sweat from the Midwest. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, Ernok, sometimes the weather comes from this way, sometimes it comes from this way, and sometimes it comes from you guys. It really depends. Like, New England's a temperate climate, but in the summertime, yeah, it can mix. It's really funny. Sometimes we get Florida weather. Sometimes we get Midwest weather, and sometimes we get Canadian weather. It's really funny. Like, it'll fluctuate. Just one more weld, bro. Please. Please, bro. Frosting and a little bit of blackness. We have heat waves, but it's not as bad as luck. Yeah, it's because you're drummer like me. You're near the ocean. That's why. Okay, there's one thing that I want to show you guys, and then we will get to it. Jack took this picture last night. Take a look. Oh, hello, hello, Mr. Yoke Boyer. The hot staging ring for the Block 3 booster has been sighted. Your background misses the SLS engines. Let's see if that GIF decides to load today. Yeah. There we go. The engine piggly wigglies are back. Yeah. No, it's perfect. There we go. Piggly wigglies. So yeah, that's the hot staging ring. Why does Block 3 use 3 grid fins instead of 4? Wouldn't it be harder to control? That has 3 control surfaces in the back. That's the reason. It's not needed. You don't need the 4th one. Simplifies the design. You can get yaw, pitch, and roll control out of 3 grid fins. Now, I'll be honest with you. I hate that the grid fins are in a T configuration. I hate it. I hate it a lot. It's not great. I wish they were clocked at like 120 degrees so it worked like a V-tail almost, but there you go. You don't need it. Simplify the design. You know, if something is if a design is, what's the right way to say it? If a design is mature enough, you can take away parts. It's not a big deal. You can take away the redundancy. Hey, Tor, what's going on? Like at one point, does having the extra grid fin, does that trade-off make sense? So, okay. Now, what's the trade-off for super heavy? What's the trade-off? Mass. So, guys, like, all right, I know that Starship is projected to move like 100 tons into space, right? That it's projected, dude, they want 100 to 200 tons. Well, guess what, dudes? You got to get rid of mass. Starship, you got to remember, dudes, it's made out of stainless steel. It's steel. It's a steel rocket. That it is way heavier. But the trade-off there is that a steel rocket is easier to manage and it's easier to reuse. Steel is way stronger than aluminum. There's a reason we don't build skyscrapers out of aluminum, for instance. They tried, boats are made out of steel for that same reason. I mean, the U.S. Navy tried making one out of aluminum. That worked. Nope. They tried that. Didn't really work too well. Anyway, so because Starship is made out of steel, your mass fraction is going to suffer. Your mass fraction is going to suffer on for a bunch of different reasons. One of the biggest ones is Starship is reusable. You need the flappy systems, all right? You need the flappy systems. You need all those tiles. It's the same problems that the space shuttle ran into. You need all that. It's part of the design. It's part of the rules of the game, right? So, you know what? You know what's a good way to explain this? I've never explained this way, but anybody ever played D&D? All right, you have a dungeon master, right? And the dungeon master makes the rules, and the rules can change. One game of D&D is not going to be like another, right? Right? That is how you set up systems engineering. So Elon and company came up with they're the dungeon master. They came up with the rules, the set of criteria for what Starship needs to do to be successful. And in that set of rules, you're dealing with a lot of problems, and you have to make trade-offs contextually, right? You make engineering decisions contextually based off of trying to win the game by completing all the rules, right? Does that make sense? I know that's not exactly like how D&D works, right? But in a way that like rolling like a D20 and rolling 10 might be good in one D&D game, in another D&D game rolling a 10 is bad. You know what I mean? It really depends. Now, in Starship's case, the rule set is that the thing needs to be rapidly reusable, it needs to be able to be turned around fast, and it needs to be able to be easily manufactured. And it needs 200 tons to low Earth orbit payload capacity. Now, SpaceX is slowly refining each one of these goals. Those are 4 big stakeholder expectations right there. That is the DM. That's the Dungeon Master. That's the rule set. Now, you have to make your engineering decisions based off of that rule set. And if you don't, well, you're not going to do all the rules. You're not going to win. You're not going to win the game, so to speak. Would you prefer Starship being a space plane? No, not Starship, Ator. I still think, though, to this day, I still think that there would, if there was a space shuttle, like the space shuttle, like this thing over here, there is still a market for this thing. I think in the coming commercial market, something like the shuttle would be amazing. I'm serious about that. Something like the space shuttle would be fantastic. That would absolutely thrash on a commercial market. It would absolutely thrash. I got stunned when I entered the stream and heard Dungeon Master. My mind was guttered. Yeah. Hey, 16K. Good morning. I mean, just think about the capability here. You have 25-ton up mass, 12-ton down mass. Think about where the commercial market is going. Varda space, Voyager space, they're all building things that can stay up there for small amounts of time, do scientific experiments and manufacturing on orbit, and then bring them back down. That's where the commercial market is going. That is quite actually what the shuttle was designed to do. The shuttle could thrash in a commercial market. It would be amazing. It's an amazing machine. It would be great. It would be fantastic to have it. So Ship 36 miscast a fireball. Correct. Yes. Yep. Didn't I read in an interview years ago that Elon didn't like shuttles for some reason? He doesn't like the space shuttle because Elon doesn't like the shuttle program. And I don't speak for the guy Red, to be honest. How you doing, by the way? Did you stream today, dude? If you did, stay on the horse. He doesn't like the shuttle for the same reasons that I don't like the space shuttle program. It's a programmatic failure. The shuttle architecture is actually pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. But the shuttle program failed to achieve any of its architectural goals. I mean, they arguably, if the shuttle program is, once again, akin to a D&D game, they failed miserably. They got close, but they didn't do very well. No, today's a day off resting. You got to do that too. Imagine Buran. Midge, to be 100% honest with you, I think the shuttle would be better for a commercial market. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased towards the space shuttle. It's the most Chadley launch vehicle ever. Shuttle J Thunder Tank. All right. No, it's with Buran, you're throwing away 6 engines every time. With the shuttle, you throw away no engines. I'm sorry, it's not, but the trade-off, once again, the trade-off there is that Energia could throw 100 tons into space. Something the shuttle couldn't do. Hello, quick question. Why don't we just build a rocket station on orbit and fly it to Mars? Sorry if it sounds dumb. I'm not into this stuff. But Plankton, the ISS showed that assembling a vehicle on orbit, well, seemingly simple, is pretty damn difficult. But once again, that all it all depends on your architecture. It depends on what you're trying to do, right? The shuttle was designed to do that. That's why the shuttle had the robotic arm and everything that our Canadian buddies up north made to be able to. The arm is basically a construction crane. It's designed to put stuff together, like a space station, for instance. The idea of that down the road, what was originally envisioned for the shuttle program, is doing exactly what you're saying. Building a big vehicle in space and then sending that initially to the moon and then going further from there. That's what the shuttle was designed to do. But they never did it. That's what I mean about it being a programmatic failure. The worst part is that it had the systems. It had the capability of assembling a vehicle in space. We saw it with the ISS and kind of consequently with Shuttle Mir. So we paid for a Ferrari and never raced it on the track. Do you see what I mean? That's Elon's criticism of the shuttle program. Actually, I mean, we didn't pay for a Ferrari. We didn't pay for a race car. We paid for the shuttle is basically that. All right? See that? It's a big rig. Semi-truck, lorry, ute, whatever you want to call it. That vehicle right there, awesome stacks, by the way, is specifically designed to move a lot of cargo very quickly, right? No matter what country you're in, everyone has big trucks. Russia, China, us, Europe, Canada, everyone has big trucks. Everybody has those. That's what the shuttle was designed to do. Now, if you take one of those things, and try to do this with it, right? This is also a truck. It is a truck. It's got, I mean, the wheels are a dead giveaway. It's a heavy duty vehicle by sure, for sure. But that is not that. Those are two different things. NASA's problem, and the biggest programmatic problem, is that we built a semi-truck with the capability of hauling crazy amounts of cargo very, very quickly and then went camping with it. That's the problem. So the architecture is hard to do. Well, it's not hard to do. It's hard to follow through with it. Hopefully commercial can change that, dude. Hopefully. You don't go camping in a semi-truck. That doesn't make any sense. But that's what we ended up doing. Why didn't they do that with the shuttle? Plankton, it's lack of direction. Lack of direction from the program. No president has committed to NASA like Kennedy did in a long time. Not making space a national priority really has a lot to do with that. And when you don't challenge NASA to do bold things like the Apollo program, entropy sets in. The worst issue with the space program is every 48 years, the entire direction gets yanked and changed. Well, Red, my argument has always been that if we have a commercial space program to supplement that, it's not. Because with a commercial space program intertwined with a national space program with redundant capabilities, you're basically weaving a web that is almost impossible to take apart. You're playing off of the same ideas from the Apollo program of spreading the manufacturing and the amount of stakeholders involved, spreading them over a very large, well, in this particular case, a very large financial blanket, I guess is the right way to say that, you know? Because people think space is a waste of money and time. Well, Sintesi, part of why I'm still in business is because I'm trying to change that. But whatever. I fully agree. We have to be careful not to let one commercial player take the entire market. I worry about non-SpaceX groups. And Red, I ain't trying to say I told you so. I said this in 2018. When Elon was the golden boy. Okay? I said this in 2018. Not that I don't hate or like Elon. Like it's my job to be an observer and tell you guys objectively what's going on. I wouldn't interject my opinion on the guy. That's weird. I I'll interject my opinions about Starship, but not about a person. That doesn't. I don't do that. Um, but I said this in 2018, dude, and people were like, "What? What do you mean? What do you mean? SpaceX is great. Why would the, nothing weird would ever happen?" And it's like, okay, funny. Elon has better rockets than NASA. Yeah, right now, sure. NASA's rockets can go further currently than Elon's rockets. SLS can move 25 tons of payload out to the moon. Falcon Heavy can't do that. It comes close, but it can't do it. It comes very close, but it still can't. And like that's, and don't get me wrong, you'd be crazy to think that that's not going to change in the next couple of years, but that's always been my argument. The 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 reason why SpaceX is so damn successful is because they originally made a ton of money by moving stuff to the ISS. That was the seed money that made them successful. That was the seed money that saved them. And I'm not trying to hang that over SpaceX's head. SpaceX took that and ran with it, and they made something insane, and it's awesome, and I love Starship, right? But the point is that you got to put yourself into the position that made SpaceX successful to have future SpaceXs, like other SpaceX-style entities in the future. So how do you do that? What made SpaceX successful? Well, the ISS existing. And what built the ISS? The space shuttle. NASA needs to have their own space program that's supplemented by commercial. That leverages the commercial market the most. Without the ISS, where the hell would SpaceX be? Probably gone. Probably gone. Just saying. You have to have both if we want to sustainably go further. You have to have both of them. But anyway, I've wasted a half hour. Let's go weld. Let's go out in the garage. But NASA's been around how long? NASA's been around since 1958. Do you think Buran 2 would be successful? Nah, not really. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, I've wasted a half hour. We only have 90 minutes left to get all these welds done. So let's go out into the garage. Let's see. Is it going to load today? Bing! Close enough. Okay. We have everything clamped on the thing there. I still have my metal brake. I got to set that up. Less yapping, more zapping. Yep. It would be cool. I don't know, Aitor. I like Buren Energia's architecture. I like Energia. Actually, I just like Energia. I don't think Buran is a good idea. I think it's a piece of junk. Except for the automated systems. That was pretty trick for the time. But anyway, I'll be right back. You know what would be really smart? Enabling the mic in the office to pick up the mic in the garage. That would be a really smart thing to do. You know? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Tessa, what I was saying is that I got to weld. We got to weld today. We're going to try to, we got about 90 minutes. We're going to zap some welds together, or zap these frame rails together and go. Now, we like it silent. Out of sync. Tell me something I don't know. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I am starting early with the hydration because I don't trust it. I don't trust it because I just don't trust it. Sink now in the kitchen. Roger, sink in the kitchen. All right, let me, I gotta refresh the YouTube chat. YouTube chat pop-out doesn't work here. It doesn't update like Twitch does. So give me a second, YouTube. If you ask a question, give me one moment. Yeah, friction welding. The only thing being friction stir welded is, you know what? I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Never mind, Midge. This is the swamp butt that I'm getting, so I can't say that. All right. I get it. The only thing being friction stir welded is the freaking swamp butt that I got going on. Sorry. Yeah, that's the G-rated version. That's the G-rated version of what I was going to say. I was going to say something a little less appropriate. So thermostat is reading, hang on, I gotta get it up. Give me a second. "84 degrees today at 70% humidity." So I don't know, that's like 27, 28 C, somewhere in there at 70% humidity. So it's not as hot as yesterday, which is good. Is Legar conversion of Chevy to hot rod? Hot rod. Is legal convert? Lady Warrior, drink coffee, try again, please. I do not have AC in the garage, no. Yeah. I don't have an adequate system to cool this. Yet. I wanted to fix that over vacation, but not in the cards. Okay, let's get the cameras up and running, and I'll explain what I need to do. 26 at 62 in the UK. That's not bad, dude. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let me set us to the front cam. There we go. I like the idea of a heat pump instead of a lift. I might have to, X-Wing. I might have to do that. Need to use more talcum powder to combat that swamp butt. Yep. See? All right. So let's switch to this camera here. So check it out. This is my 1969 Dodge Coronet. If you haven't seen it, it is a Coronet 500 sedan. I call it the crew cab Charger, because Dodge Coronets are made on the exact same chassis as Dodge Chargers. The only difference is that this has 4 doors and a Dodge Charger has 2. The underpinnings are all exactly the same. So my goal is to rebuild this and make it as fast as like a 1969 Charger RT at the very least. Probably fast. We're probably gonna, let's be real, we're probably gonna make it faster than that. Now, why didn't I just buy that? Why, just in case you were wondering, why didn't I just buy that? It's expensive. I paid $1,400 for this car. I did that a little while ago. This was pre-COVID.
So nowadays you can get into a good 4-door B-body shell for probably like 3 to 4 grand. Not bad, not bad. If you wanted a 2-door shell in the same condition, you know, if a 4-door is 3 to 4 grand, a 2-door shell is probably 15 to 20 grand. So my theory with this car is that if I do the work myself and I make a good 4-door shell, I will spend less money, albeit a lot more labor. I will spend less money than I would just buying a 2-door shell. If I bought a 2-door shell, I would have to do all the work on top of it. You buy a 4-door shell, right? You're gonna save probably like 10 grand. So if you're okay with having 4 doors instead of 2, you're good. And I'm okay with that. So whatever. We'll buy a 2-door later when I get rich or something. Because you ain't getting that one for short money, that's for sure. So what we're doing right now is this car is basically being frame off, quote unquote frame off restored at this, like now, like we're basically at frame off restoration. The only thing that this thing would, like, if we were gonna do it, like if we're gonna go more, we'd need a frame jig and a rotisserie. Those are really cool ways of saying like professional, and we're not that, so. Gold Bond works better. Yeah, I like Gold Bond. Gold Bond's good. I am out of it right now. But more doors, more better. Yeah. Once again, it's a trade-off. The 4-door chassis is actually more rigid because you need more structure for the doors. The problem is it's heavier. It's heavier because it's got 4 doors. But because we have this gigantic post, this is called a B-pillar right here, connecting the roof to the floor. Well, mine's kind of connected. It's a little rusty, but you know, it's connected. Theoretically, having that connected helps triangulate the chassis. Think of it like a trestle. The more, you know, the more posts you have in a trestle, the stronger it's going to be. Well, not necessarily. You need triangulation in a trestle. I understand that. The analogy is good enough. Structural engineers, don't kill me. All right, so the funny thing is that like in the 60s, right, and I'm gonna get the cameras ready while I'm talking. In the 60s, you know, the high horsepower motors were making 400 or 500 horsepower. Like that was a lot of power, okay? Like if you had 500 horsepower on the street, that was a big deal, right? 500 horsepower from a 7+ liter displacement engine, so like a 383, 400, 440, 426, right? Those were making 400, 500, 600 horse. And that was the biggest of the big motor, right? And but the thing is, those motors made great power, but they're super heavy. A big 7-liter engine is like, their 7-liter engine with like a cast iron block, it's like 2,000 pounds. It's almost a metric ton, the motor by itself. So because of that, everybody wanted a 2-door. Everybody wanted 2-door cars. They wanted 2-door cars because it's lighter. You had to make up for the fact that you had a boat anchor of an engine, albeit a very powerful boat anchor of an engine up front. Nowadays, that's not so much the case, right? If you're not familiar with cars, in the aftermarket area, in the aftermarket space, you can make 500 horsepower with whatever you want. You can make almost anything reliably make 400 or 500 horse. Even 4 cylinders. I've seen guys turboing Honda 2-liter Honda engines, and they're making 500 horse reliably. Not 500 horse, you could do it once or twice and the engine blows up. 500 horse reliable, like out of 4-bangers. So my idea here is, because engine technology is so much better, if we take a modern engine and put it in this car, right? We can make it make more power with lower displacement reliably, and we can offset the fact that we have 4 doors. The weight of the doors will not equal the offset weight of the engine, right? So it's a trade-off, just like what we're talking about with Starship, right? K-Series is a great engine, and I'm not even that big of a Japanese car guy. I like Japanese cars. I like my American stuff too. But yeah, K24s and K20s, mint. I mean, I come from the era where, if you're a Honda guy, I come from the era where B18Cs and H22s were amazing. An H22A is like a 2.2 liter engine that makes 230 horse, which is pretty damn good for a four banger from 20 years ago. That's pretty good. Nowadays, you could use a K series. You take a K series and you can make way more power than that, like 500, like I said. So I'm opening the garage and I want to show you guys something. And this is just kind of priming everybody because I didn't talk about this much yesterday. Like I'm trying to give everybody a primer in here. So you see that? See that thing right there? That's a 2004 Dodge Ram. It has a 5.7 Gen 3 Hemi in it. Dude, you could blink at that thing and it could make 500 horsepower. I mean, that one doesn't right now, but in the truck, it probably makes 300. But we do some work to that motor, take that motor, put it in this car, and we have a car that with 4 doors that is conceivably faster than the fastest Mopars from the 60s. That's the plan. And we could do it all for less than the price of the current price of the fastest Mopars from the 60s. So like my dream car is a 1970 Dodge Charger. I love Chargers, Charger 500s. The 69s are good, but I like 70s, okay? I don't like the split in the grill. I like the big vacuum cleaner grill. I think it looks amazing. Albeit really not aerodynamic, but that's another story. So if I wanted a Charger 500, a 70 Charger 500, even in this condition right now, 20 grand. If I take 10 grand and put it into this car, I can make something faster. That's pretty much the same, but not. That's the idea. That's what I'm doing. So with that being said, we got to weld up some frame rails. I have the camera set up, so let's go. Whoop. 20 grand in a kidney. I was on eBay. A viewer linked me eBay last night, Tessa. There was a 70 Charger 500 on eBay going for 20 G's in about the same condition as this car. But it had a 440 Magnum. 440 Magnum RT, which is a 7.2, 7.3 liter engine. 440 Magnum, 727 3-speed auto. It was a Charger RT. It was really nice, like one of the higher trim levels for Chargers. And with 2 days left on the auction, it was already at 20 G's. So that's going to end at like 40, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, I don't have 40 G's to spend, but if I did have 40 G's to spend, I would pocket 20 of it or pocket 30 of it and put 10 grand into this car and have basically the same thing. I'm cool with that. Has the middle and front compared to the super rusted back. So my original idea was to just build this strong, right? All systems. The original idea was to just build all the structure back into the back of the car because there was nothing back here. It's bad. I'm not even sure that some of the pieces that I took off are savable. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The back is by far the worst part of the car. But it's strange. The reason why it's strange is because the middle of the car is okay. The middle of the car is rusting in the typical areas that a 1969 Chrysler B platform chassis would be rusting. It's the same stuff. It's pretty normal. The front of the car is fine. Relatively fine for a 56-year-old car. Like, we're not doing this amount of work to the front, dude. I don't understand how this happened. The front of the car looks like it's been sitting in the desert for probably 50 years. But we know good and well that this car was a Canadian market car. It was sold in Canada and then imported into the United States. My only guess for the rot, the amount of rot that's going on back here is that this car was either in the mountains, because the last owner that had this car registered was out of New Hampshire, out of the mountain region in New Hampshire. Or this, I mean, it could have been up in the mountains, in which case salt will absolutely obliterate a car like this. Or this guy used this to tow boats around or something and was dipping it like in the ocean, dipping the back of the car in salt water and then driving away, because you have to do that. I mean, you could tow with this thing. It's got a 5.2 liter V8 in it. You can tow with it. Yeah, you pretty much, yeah, you could do it. You could get away with it. But yeah, I don't know. But see, here's the thing. If the guy was towing stuff and dipping, trying to like dip, get a boat into the water, into the ocean, there would have been signs of a hitch back here, and I didn't see anything. But then again, the parts that would have had the hitch on it were rusted away long ago. So there's really not that good of a way to tell. My guess is that this car was just driven in the mountains, and they salt the hell out of the roads up there in New Hampshire. I know they do that. So, yeah, that's my theory, that this car was just driven in salt all year round. But that still doesn't explain why the front of the car is in okay condition. Like, I don't understand why the back of this car was absolutely thrashed and the front of it wasn't. EJ got a sick garage. Thanks, Jamal. I used to so badly want to drop an H22 into your Honda Accord and make it into a VTEC sleeper. Yeah, dude, old school. That's an old school thing. Because it kicks up salt to the back. Yeah, Daily Push, sure. I mean, what I don't understand. Okay, here, let me show you something. I want to show you one more thing, and then we got to get to work. So, interesting thing going on here. The bottom of this car was coated in some type of undercoating. Now, see, it's this stuff right here. This is a piece of the trunk pan. That's a trunk extension. This piece would have gone right here, like that. This was all coated with undercoating. See that? It's all undercoated. The whole bottom of this car is caked in it. Did someone just not undercoat the back of the car? Like, I don't understand. Because if we go in there, and I brought this camera down under there, car looks mint. It's very strange. The middle of the car is fine. Like the frame rail forward to here, the frame rails, it's fine. Like, it looks brand new. Well, not brand new. It looks great for a 56-year-old car. So you have like totally mint parts of the car from like here forward, and then this looks like the Titanic. So did they just not undercoat the back of the car? Like, I don't understand. How do you just spray one part of it and not another? Because if you look at the old rear cross member, right? So this is what was left. See this black piece right here? This piece? This is what was left of this. This piece goes right here. This has paint on it, which means I don't see any of that undercoating back here at all. So that means when they undercoated the car, they didn't undercoat in places that matter, to say the least. Because you're right, the salt kicks up and it sprays all back up in here, right? And you could tell, like, the salt was going here and here because that's where the rear tires are, right? But they didn't bother undercoating that? Question? It's very strange. That's a very weird thing going on there. I don't really get it. Rear is so big, undercoating would cost a house payment to do in the back. Yeah. When you go to the car wash, the sprayer starts toward the back and washed off the undercoat. No. I have not seen Joe's new video, Aitor. No, I have not. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Whatever happened, I mean, but then again, it may have had undercoating on it, and because the wheels are spraying up road grime, it could have taken it off. I mean, I'm going to undercoat the snot out of this thing. I never want this thing to rust again. But yeah, that's kind of the part of the reason why I'm overbuilding back here. But okay, so either way, yeah, just very weird, very, very strange stuff going on there. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, all systems, to answer your question, the front of the car is fine. It's mint. It looks brand new. I'll show you guys when we get up there. The center of the car is rusting in the normal spots that a Mopar B-body rusts in, and the back of this car looks like it's been submerged in salt water for 50 years. Or it looked like it. It doesn't look like it no more, but... They got into a habit of leaving the snow tires on for too long. Yeah, James, that could be it. Watch out, there's bees behind you. If you don't run, you'll have to restart. I'm not allergic to bees. Wartaz. Yeah, I'm not allergic to them, nor am I worried about being stung. I had a bee's nest under my front porch last year, and I went and sprayed it with carb cleaner. And the bees got very angry and stung me 2 or 3 times on the arm. Then they all died. So, actually, those were wasps, but you get the idea. Yeah, they stung me a bunch on my arm, like over here. Yeah, they're long gone. You can't see them anymore. But, yeah, don't worry. I'm not a wimp like the guy in Summer Car. I mean, allergies. That's not really how that works, but you know what I mean. Okay. So let's think about this. Where do we want to weld? So I tacked in my brackets here yesterday. They did flash rust. I think it's because I dripped sweat on these damn things. They flash rusted a bit. But yeah, that should be all right. Let's see. We got to start. So anyway, I started tacking. All right. I think what we should do. Let me just kind of put 2 and 2 together here. So we tacked in the two brackets here. Let's take a peek. Guys, hold on one second. I gotta get the fan. I gotta have the fan blowing on me. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. I got an hour left before we have to start cities. Okay. Frick. I am not making good time today. Let me get the fan, and I gotta get to work. This is the plight of fricking streaming, dude. You don't have a boss to yell at you. You know, you just gotta kind of get the work done and get it done on your own time. It's really, that's hard to do when you have nobody to be accountable to. It's a pain in the butt. It won't plug in over there. There we go. I got the fan. All right. Oh, we got to be careful about welding in the wind. I need that heat pump. This is ridiculous. Okay. You don't want the fan blowing on you when you're welding. It'll blow the shielding gas away. Whatever. All right, so right there, we got to do a plug weld. We got to do the plug welds for these. Those are tacked in position, so okay. So for this one, it should be pretty easy. I should be able to get the welder in there, but there's 2 holes on the other side that I kind of have to go up and upside down at. But hang on. What do you think about RP1? I think it's nice. I don't play it. So see those holes right there? We got to get the welder in there. We got to plug that. And then I'm just gonna, the welder isn't on or anything, guys. I'm just gonna see where we need to get this freaking thing. Can I get that in there? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do the plug welds for the L brackets here, and we're gonna go from there. So I have my frame rail patch right here, and then I have two brackets that go from the old frame rail that curve to get to the cross member here. They look like L's. There's one over here and there's one over here. So there's one going, you know, that way, and there's one going that way. You can see the tab right there. First thing I'm gonna do is plug weld those in position. Because right now, how I have this thing with all the levels and everything is clamped and everything is nice and level. So because these butt up against the rear cross member, I'm gonna put them in first, and that will help me locate this piece. If you see, this piece is still loose. But I have holes in the sides of it down there for, you know, we can locate it, right? We can locate where it needs to be and then start tacking that first. But the first thing we gotta do is make sure that these are in there correctly. And that starts with doing a plug weld. So that's what we'll do. Grounding strap is already there, right? Grounding strap's there. I got the welder out. Let me put my gloves on and the welding helmet, and let's get going. Welder is on, gas is on. Let me verify pressure just to be sure. Yep. All right, we're good. Okay, get the welding helmet on. Do you guys want the weld filter? You want to join? You want to get into the matrix? Lazy are kids these days, no good work ethic. I'm trying to buck that trend, and I'm trying to teach people to buck that, to not be like that, Kelly, you know? Do you remember when a UK, EJ, do you remember when a UK news person showed the middle finger live? No? Why would I maybe I've seen it in my travels, Ator, but I've been on the internet for a long time, buddy. So, I don't know. You know what? We're short on time. No weld filter, if you guys don't mind. So you're just gonna see the flashing light warning, okay? Let me adjust the light so you guys can see. And we are going to get in here. Let me get my cutter. Where's the wire cutter? There we go. Verify that gas is flowing. Just listen, you'll hear the Yep, okay, we have gas at the welding nozzle. Okay, let's do this. So, first weld of the day. We're going right in there. I should put the gloves on. I just put them on and then took them off because I'm an idiot. Yeah, flashing light warning, guys. The welder arcs electricity and it's like staring at the sun. I'm gonna just move that out of the way so we don't hit the grounding strap. do the top one first. Ready? Nice. Good plug weld. That was good. Let me just look at it from you guys' angle. Yeah, we filled it. You gotta, so what you gotta do is basically fill the entire hole right there. And we filled it. That's good. I pulled the welder away a little quickly there. I pulled the welding gun away from the weld, and it kind of screwed up at the end, but. But that's otherwise a really nice plug. Okay. Okay, let's get the next one. Ready? Good. Good plug weld. Very nice. Excellent. That's perfect. Yeah. That ain't going nowhere. All right. So let's do the other side. I'm not going to seam this. I'm not going to seam this piece in just yet. We're not going to plug weld that. I got to get the other side. There's really no good camera angle for you guys to kind of see with this, so just imagine I'm doing the same thing on the other side, okay? There's no way to see this correctly. All right, that should work. Okay, I got it. Next. My hand got stuck. Crap. I missed the damn hole. There's a nice bead, but it's only partially on the dang hole. My hand got stuck. I should have stopped. It's okay. I can see it better now. Okay, ready? Okay, I got it. Cool. All right, that's plugged. Those pieces are tacked in. We're good. All right, so now what we can do is I can pull the cross. We can pull the cross member off. Oh, come on. I'm going to pull the rear cross member, and actually, I mean, you don't really need to, but I was thinking do it so I could weld this easier, but I just welded it. Like, it's good. It's not going anywhere. PLD Space has released an update video. That's great. I want to work on this right now, Aitor, if that's cool. That's awesome. I hope they're doing well. Yeah. All right. The next thing to do would probably be to tack this frame rail piece in place. We could seam the edges there too as well. Let me just double check we're level across the board. Yep. Okay. I have like a ton of different levels out here, measuring different parts of the car to make sure everything is right. That's not necessarily the best way to do it, but it's a way that works. All right. The next thing that we should do is tack the frame rail piece in. We really have to make sure that that's in the right spot. That's really important. So I don't want to do the plug welds. I'm going to tack it on the seam, but I'm going to do that on the bottom. I'm going to do that down here. What the hell? Stop it. I'm going to do that over here. And I want the bottom flush because that's what people are going to see. You know what? Maybe running 2 beads there is the next move. Yeah, let's do that. We plug welded in. I'm going to seam weld this thing into position. Let's do that. Let me just make sure there's no debris on top here. Hang on, I needed to rotate the tripod. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is run a seam from here to there for the plate up against the original frame rails right here. I'm going to run it on both sides. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult to do, but it's a more difficult weld, but I have much better reach here. All right, ready? Yeah, didn't really do exactly what I wanted, but what brand welder are you using? It's a Lincoln 180. Yeah, it's a MIG welder. It's a good welder, dude. I like this thing. I need to wire brush this, get any contaminants off. There we go, much better. Now, I just got to get the end of that seam. You know, a person that's better at this than me would have done this all in one shot, but I suck, so. Give me the light. Yeah, see, that's pretty good. It still looks like the Silver Surfer shot a load here, but whatever. On the side of my frame rails. Probably shouldn't have said that on stream, but hey, whatever. All right, Ator, see you, buddy. Probably shouldn't have said that on stream, boys and girls, but hey. Whoops. What are you going to do? Sorry if you're watching with children, that's my fault. Pretty funny, though. And now, just to add insult to injury, I'm cleaning the tip of the welder. Always got to clean the tip, you know? Sorry, I know this is backlighting for you guys, but I need to see the seam. Yeah, the angle was bad. That one didn't, that's boogery. That didn't come out right like the other ones. It's much easier when you have gravity working with you rather than against you. Kind of had to weld that from the side, but. You were not ready? That's my bad. Oh, that's my bad. Yeah, that's a better angle to do that. All right. Excellent. This can still freely move around. Cool. Excellent. All right. So that's now seamed in there. We know that those pieces aren't going anywhere. Everything is still level across the board. So sometimes when you do this, metal moves around, but I think the plugs and the plug and the tacks made that not a thing with this. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to drop a tack down here. It's going to be on the bottom, but I'm going to drop a tack to try and get this piece, not try, I'm going to get this piece in position, the frame rail extension piece. Really got to figure out where you want this thing to live before you do this. Okay, ready? And I think we did a lot of figuring yesterday and a lot of sweating to make sure that that's right, so. Nope. I can't really get a good angle in there. Welding upside down. Okay, that's burned in. And I know that these don't necessarily align, but it's okay. We'll bend them up into position once we get this done right. Ventilation, I got the fan on, dude, in the garage door. We're good. Okay. Now that that's tacked, let me just make sure everything is nice and right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now let me push this up against this and we'll do the plug weld. Just got to make sure it's butted all the way up. I lost it. I can't see it. Well, it came in the right spot, so that's good. I blinked, but I think I plugged it okay. It wasn't the best plug weld I've done, but it's good enough for now. I'll go over it and inspect it in a second. Now this edge needs to be up against here. We'll do the bottom one down there. Once again, not the best plug weld. I did that one-handed, but we got good heat and good penetration. Let me check the back. Yep, good pen. Cool. Excellent. All right. See, normally I wouldn't suggest welding this much, this quickly, but we spent a good 4 to 5 hours yesterday making all these parts and then double and triple checking that everything is aligned. Good plug. You're butted all the way. Yeah, Geek, she's good. This thing is not going anywhere, dude. And once we get the seam weld, I mean, we still got a little bit of play back and forth like that, but that's moving the frame rail with it, which is good. You're getting good at those welds? Thanks, man. Yeah. Those plugs are pretty good, yeah. It's pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it, dude. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to do is just pinch this up against this right here and just put a tack. Put a tack weld right there just so that doesn't move. I don't want that moving around. Cool. Proud of you, sir. Thanks, man. It took a couple months and a lot of trying, but yeah, we're here. Doing that seam is not going to be fun, but okay. Now the next thing that I want to do is do a tack on the other side. Just be absolutely sure what you want. Here. Ready? I blew on it with the helmet on. That was stupid. Okay, there we go. She's good. She ain't moving. Good. Now it looks like that may have moved just a smidge, but I can use the clamps and butt it up against it again when we do that final seam. Hold on. Yeah, I did have a little bit of movement, guys, and that's, once again, that's on me. It's an amateur mistake. See, once we clamp that, yeah, and we're all nice and true. Now, if these edges don't look completely flush to there, don't worry about that. I'll cut it. I put a lot of extra meat on here on purpose so we can cut it back with a grinder and make it look good. I did that on the other side too. Cool. Just check the levels. Okay. Nothing has really moved. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Hiya, bitch. How do you do TTS? TTS are from donos, not bits. Sweat in the mic. Oh, crap.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Sound is muffled. You sweat on the mic, smiley face.
Let me clean this. Is that better? Dude, I sweat my ass off. It's so goddamn hot in here. It's really freaking toasty. Sorry about that, dudes. Probably sounded like I was underwater there for a second. Showing some stomach. Nice. Oh, yeah. Why don't you have the door open? Happy? Maybe get some breeze at least. Wishful thinking, geek. You worked in this shop in April when it was nice. Working in here right now is not great. I'm happy this welding mask has a damn sweatband, or else I'd be like, You need a 10-foot shop fan. Well, I got a 2-foot shop fan, so got that going for me, which is nice. All right, back to work. It looks like this metal may have warped just a little bit. It moved. There's a little bit of a gap, probably like a millimeter gap between the edge of that and that. But, you know, when we self-tapper that thing, it'll be fine. Yeah, the big AC fans are expensive. Geek, I'm gonna get a heat pump. I keep saying this, and once again, this is a problem that I wanted to solve on my vacation, but I didn't because I ended up going on vacation too much. I had plans to get the heat pump in here and ready to go in the first week of July. My brother-in-law is an HVAC dude, does a lot of different types of HVAC. He's got heat pumps. Because people put a heat pump in and then they decide they need something better, and then they you know, they're like, I don't know what to do with this, and you know, they sell it to them for like $200 or something. Like, I got the equipment, I just needed the time, you know, and once again, on my vacation, I wanted to put this in. Vacation that I took the first week of July, I wanted to do this, but I got stranded in Las Vegas. I was supposed to go to a destination wedding for a weekend, June 28th, 29th, and then be back here on the be back here on the 2nd, right? It's a destination wedding in Las Vegas. My buddy's a local there, right? So it's a destination for us, not so much for him, but it's not really what a destination wedding is now that I'm thinking about it, but it doesn't matter. my flights got canceled because Vegas had that weird windstorm. So the flights got canceled, and they canceled a whole bunch of flights, and they booked them out an extra two to 3 days. So I was supposed to spend like maybe a weekend in Vegas. I ended up spending a week there. And that overlap throughout the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July, right? I was supposed to be here. I got back on the morning of the 4th, on Friday morning at 5 in the morning, because the red-eye flight on Thursday to Friday was the only thing that was available, so that's great. So I had plans to do this. My brother-in-law was going to come down here. We're going to get it done, and those plans fell through. So now I'm just stuck sweating my ass off. So that's good. So, you know, that's life. It sucks and it's annoying because I don't have a lot of time, right? Sorry, there's a fly and I swatted him. Got him. It sucks because I don't have a lot of time, but, you know, hey, whatever. I'll figure out another time to do it. But I'm going to get a heat pump in here. I think we should do a heat pump before the lift, but I don't know. I don't know. Stranded, do you need SpaceX to recover? Yes, yes. Elon, if I could have gotten a suborbital flight back to Boston, that would have been great. All right. I'm a little annoyed that that piece came in kind of crooked. That's my fault. Stuff moves. But once again, I can hammer that flush. It's not a big deal. All right, I'm going to do the plug welds on the other side. There's 4 plugs that I have to do on this side of the rail, so you'll see them right there. You'll see 2 of them come through. I need the light. Geek, that's the best advice you ever gave me, dude. The light, you know. I know it seems like, well, duh, but, you know, seeing what you're doing, super important when you're welding. Like, super important. No. That'll work. Okay, let's do the top one. Ready? We have a good plug. Okay, next. The welder stopped. What was that about? I didn't get a good connection. It sounded good? Thanks, man. Yeah, can you guys see the back through there? You should see where it penned. It did, right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, ready? That did not do what I wanted. Why didn't that do that? Oh, it looks like I pushed back on the piece a little bit. There's a gap there. There's a gap at the bottom of the panel. I should have clamped it. That is a rook mistake. But I mean, it's not going anywhere. And both sides are coated in steelite, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, it looks like it had a little bit of movement there. This plate is kind of bent a little bit that way, but it's okay. I mean, it'll be all right. That was terrible. I can't really see it, man. That was bad. Yeah, the plate moved. I should have clamped it. I mean, I got good pen and it's not going anywhere. And for all intents and purposes, that weld should be fine, but that was just a weird angle. I couldn't see I couldn't see it through there. I had to look through one of these holes right here to get it that right, but I can see the last one, thankfully, so let's get on it. Ready? Yeah, who knew? Plug weld a lot better when you can see the stupid thing. You need more ventilation. We are at maximum ventilation capacity, dude. Okay, this needs to butt up against that, like that. Still flush on the bottom? Yep. Okay. All right, what I'm trying to do is secure this thing and make sure it doesn't move and just get it in its home. And then I'm gonna take the cross member off so we can get the seams in there. I'll be able to reach them a lot easier without this thing. I'll do a tack on the other side in the same spot. There we go. All right, that's part of the car now. We have offered that piece up to the car gods. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the rear cross, I'm gonna take it off. A couple of things that I screwed up that I could have done better. I should have kept the clamps on there to keep these butted up against this. I don't know why I took them off. That would have been a better thing to do. The panels moved around a little bit. They're a little canted, but it's not good. As long as it's flush up against the cross member, I don't care. No one's gonna see it. But that isn't gonna stop me from, you know, seam welding the snot out of this thing as much as I possibly can. But in order to do that, we gotta take the cross member off. So let me get my drill. Don't stop. Because yeah, you could clamp it till you're blue in the face, right? You could just keep clamping things and clamping things and clamping things. It always moves. Every time you weld, it'll move. Well, that's why you alternate where you weld. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's the first time seeing, guys, basically what this should look like. That's what the rear frame rails should look like. Jeepers. All right, I still got to get a plug up in there, but I didn't want to get at that because I can't really see it. But good. Yeah, see, that's what the back of the car should look like. It's a long way from where we started, dude. Wow. Sorry, it's the first time I'm seeing the tabs like in place, you know? But yeah, let's see, that moved. Shit. That moved a little bit. There's a huge gap right there, but this plate is a little bit that way. What are you gonna do? This one is a little crooked as well. I should have found like, oh, the 2x4. That's what I forgot. I forgot to put the damn 2x4 in there. Oh well, that's life. As long as, see, these tabs are not the biggest of deal. Like, as long as this is not hot and burning my fingers, right? As long as this is part of the car, it's nice and solid, it's okay. Plugs look good though. Plugs came out really nice. Yeah, looks pretty good. Yeah. I wanted to seam it down there, but that's probably not going to happen. So we'll coat the snot out of that thing with Steel It and then chassis paint, and yeah, we should be good. Balls. Other than that, I'm kind of happy with how this came out. The stitch welds up there, or the seam welds up there, look good. Now we got to seam the sides of it. The seams on the other side are already done. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, that's what they should look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. That is not what we started with, but that's what it's supposed to look like. Watch out, it might be hot. Yep. Man, it's going to be really nice when we can pull this brace out of here. The day that we can pull that brace out, I'm going to be really happy. And that day is pretty much rapidly approaching. Might even be next week. And you know, the good thing is that this piece fitment with the tabs actually came out pretty good. Those tabs ended up in pretty much the right spot. Nice. Pretty happy with that. Okay, now we're going to seam weld this. So we're going to get in here and I'm going to move the camera down for you guys. See the seam right there? Between the old frame rail and this, we got to zap that. We got to put a nice bead in there. And I also got to do the last plug right there. So let me move the light so you guys and I can see. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, the plate's butted up against the frame rail pretty good. There's just a little bit of waviness in the rail up there, but it's fine. It's okay. We'll cover it up with seam. It'll look good. Simultaneously, on the other rail, we have to plug weld. We have to do 2 more plug welds over here. And now that these are off, we should be able to finalize and seal this bad boy up. And then I can use self-tappers to pull these pieces to the cross. I'm not too worried about that. So how should we do this weld? We should start here and go up. It'll probably be easier to build the weld upwards. I'll do that plug weld first. Don't forget the 2x4 for the other, yeah, exactly. All right. What time is it? Are we making good time? Not really. All right, let's go. We're gonna switch over to cities in a second here, dudes, but I wanna finish this. All right. So I need to find a comfortable spot. Let me get my bucket. You guys probably are gonna watch from a 3/4 view from over here so I can get the welder in, right? Yeah. All right. Okay, let's do this. You guys, should probably give you the weld filter for this, but I'm short on time, so just bear with me. I'm gonna do this plug. Ready? There we go. Dope frame rails there. Props to you. Thanks, man. Yeah, see? Nice. Good plug. That's not going nowhere. That's not going nowhere. All right, so let's seam this thing and call it a day. At least get one of these done. Ready? That could have been better. Once again, it's just a bad angle. I want you guys to see, but I also need the weld to not suck. Fellas, I'm gonna move the camera just kind of in a different position. I'm gonna move it behind me. So I can get up close to this dang thing. You guys can see all right? Yeah. Give me the wire brush. Wire brush, where the hell did I put that? Oh, there it is. Okay, ready? I slipped. Oh, I slipped. Crap. I slipped and we blew through a little bit, but that's okay. That didn't come out too bad. That one's all right. I mean, I'll grind this down and we'll make it look nice, but no, I don't want that there. Put that up there. Yeah. That one's okay. I was pretty happy with that. And once again, these welds don't look pretty, but they're gonna hold. We're definitely getting pen. I can see the seam up the back side of this, so I'm not too concerned. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, that plate did not come in right at all. Yeah, this plate, I'm looking at it right now, it's very crooked. The frame rail looks like a valley, but it's okay. I mean, it's welded and it's not really going nowhere, so. That could be an issue when we have to weld the captive nut in. That was a bad idea. That didn't work. I was trying to be fancy. Didn't work. Hey, you know, it might be hot. Gee, that's weird. Really? All right, let's just finish up the task at hand. Started going through, got a little thin up there. Boogery, fresh, man. All right. I'm just gonna fill in a couple of gaps here and there. I should have cleaned that before I welded it, but I mean, it's getting ground off anyway. When we make this nice and flush, it's gonna get ground off, so I'm not too worried. We did blow through a little bit at the top. I'll just fill in the seam that way. Okay, let's get up top here and that's good. I filled, I didn't get all of it. I was gonna say I filled the hole that we blew through on. I got most of it. How the hell am I gonna do the seam on the other side? I didn't really think that through. We should probably have done this piece before we did the leaf spring perch, but it's okay. Story of my life. Am I making good time? No, not really. Okay. Let's get the bottom seam of the rail. I got to do this upside down and it's going to suck, but ready? I need the light. I absolutely need the light. I can't see nothing. Do not tell me I just blew through that. That part of the frame rail has pitting. We blew through it. We blew through the bottom just a little bit. It's all right. All right, well, I'm going to try to build up material again. Yeah, that idea was not a good one. That didn't work. All right, well. There is a 1/2-inch bolt size hole in the bottom of my frame rail now. So, you know, I got that going for me, which is nice. Damn. I might have to plate it. All right, we're out of time. This plate killed, that's what took the wind out of my damn sails. Screw it. All right, well, we're out of time for now. Now that I just had a nice big welding bead fall on my arm, I think I'm gonna stop. We made good progress, but I went a little fast there, dudes, which I'm not too happy with. Some of the pieces that we did, you know, we took all those time fabricating, didn't come in exactly how I wanted, so that does suck, but what are you gonna do? I mean, the truth is that it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not a big deal if it comes in slightly crooked. It's still going to adhere to the frame rail correctly. It just sucks. Frick. But I would say that my welds have gotten a little bit better. They're not the best. Like, look at that. That's pretty good, considering that's what I started with. That was the first welds that we did. So we went from that to that in a couple months. I'd say that's pretty good. Where is EJ? Why the hard stop time? Oh, I said I'd play cities, dude. I said we'd do city skylines. But you can really see from here. See that? That's, look at this piece right here is that way. I mean, like I said, as long as we have enough meat here to do a plug weld to the cross member, I'm not too concerned. That still does suck, though. I should have seen that coming when I did the first plug weld. Yeah, we should have put that damn 2x4 in there. That is a rook mistake, dude. But every mistake you make, you learn, and then you get better at it, so. Pretty good considering you have some back pain for a while. Yeah, there was a lot of times, yeah, there's a lot of weeks that we didn't work on it. The vacation week, didn't work on it. I took a week off from throwing out my damn back. Back feels great, by the way, I'm good. Yeah, just for anybody that cares. But yeah, blowing through the bottom there. Not great. Not great, Bob. Not great. I might cut that stupid piece out. I don't like it. Or drill the stupid plug welds. I mean, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's not going anywhere. Those plug welds are way stronger than the spot welds that would have been here. So, I mean, there actually probably wouldn't have been any spot welds in that spot because Mopar didn't make the frame rails in 2 pieces. Yeah, look, it's super crooked, but no one's going to see it, and the back side of the rail looks good. So I still got a seam weld in there. Yeah. You know, I said I wanted to do this to learn. Well, we learning. Oh, we are learning. What I basically learned is that I should have just replaced those frame rails. That would have made this way easier. Like way easier. But I didn't know until I do it. That's what I mean. I did this to get after the experience, you know? Wanted to get after that experience and not anything else. Can you redo it? Sure, of course. You could cut it right out. You could cut it right out and redo it, but note, like, so look, this is not going anywhere. That's part of the car. Look, this bracket is a little bit crooked, but it doesn't matter. All this bracket needs is to have enough surface area and the surface area to be flush to the rear cross member that we can bolt to it, or not bolt to it, weld to it. That's it. That's all we need. That's all. That is it. It doesn't really matter too much. This, like, this is way stronger than what came from the factory. Like, way stronger. It's double plated, so it's twice as thick. And it's welded, it's plug welded instead of spot welding. Plug welding is way stronger than spot welding. And honestly, unless somebody really looks under the car and like was like, what the hell did you do there? No one is going to see it. Now, when we get to, you know, we started in the inside of the car. We're like putting the onion back together. We peeled off all the layers. We're putting it back together. I don't mind that this is crooked. As long as it stays flush and the rear cross is in the right spot, I don't care. It's fine. I'm a little pissed that I did that. I had the 2x4 right here and we should have stuck that stupid thing right down in there to get it in place. But I figured tacking it would be good enough and it wasn't. We should have stuck the 2x4 down there to get them flush. But the plug welds are good. I'm happy with them. They're fine. I still have to do a seam weld here. We got to figure out that fiasco on the bottom of the car, and then we got to seam up the other side. Once we do all that, complete the welds over here, put the thing back on, make sure everything's aligned, coat it with paint, call it a day. You know what? I'm going to come back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 to get this done. Yeah. Yeah, back pain is the worst. Oh, you said it, Brewer. I'm good right now. Ever since I went upside down on that damn inversion table and laid there for like an entire weekend, I feel great. Like, look, anybody with back pain knows if you tried to do that, like, you'd die. I'm good. I don't know how. Like, I either broke something or everything got realigned, and actually, it was just a slight misalignment with my discs. Tempting fate. I'm not, drummer. I'm really not, dude. Like, I'm good, dude. I'm fine. Dude, I was playing pickleball the other day. My neighbor has a pickleball court in his driveway. And when I say that, I mean we just spray painted lines on it. I was playing pickleball. Felt great, dude. Yeah. Was hitting golf balls over vacation. Felt fine, yeah. little stiff, but that's okay. Keep stretching. Yeah, sure. But anyway, I don't mind. The short story is that I don't mind that this is slightly crooked. It's not that big of a deal. We can hammer these things straight. We can get them nice and flush. This one came in a little bit cattywampus, but that's okay. I think the big lesson here is don't rush the welds. And that's not anything I didn't know. I just thought I would be confident enough to be able to rush them and be good, but I'm not. This is a 3-hour job that we just did in an hour. So you're going to get an hour worth of work. You're going to get an hour work of quality, you know. But I'll tell you what, if we get to doing the outsides of the car, so parts of the car that people can see, those have to be perfect, or else everyone's going to know that it was a botch job. Not that that's a botch job, but yeah. The outsides of the car, I'm going to be a lot more stringent with how we do this. All right, pickleball. It's like table tennis or tennis and ping pong kind of rolled together for the most part. Yeah, there you go, Peter. Yeah, back pain can take you out, man. That happens. I just got to keep reminding myself, 1/16 of an inch tolerance, 16 tolerance, 16 tolerance, 16 tolerance. It's just what I got to keep telling myself that it's fine. Nothing here, despite everything being a little bent and a little bit crooked and a little bit off, is out of spec for factory spec with this car, which is just bananas to me. All right. Fellas, I'm going to go jump in the pool real quick. I'll be back at the top of the hour, or maybe not top of the hour. I'll be back in about 30 minutes. Just got to cool off. But yeah, we'll get back to this, and I'll sleep on it. If I don't, if I'm not happy with that, when I come in tomorrow morning with a cup of coffee and look at it, if I'm not happy with it, we'll redo it. Right now, it's really okay. It's not a big deal. All right. Yeah, give me a couple minutes, and yeah, I will be right back. So we'll probably do another another stream tomorrow, another auto stream tomorrow. Yeah, is the gas shut off? Let me check. Yep, gas is off. Everything's A-okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. If I have nothing else to do. Did you shut off the stove? All right, I'm leaving now. Stand by for loss of signal from the office as expected.